Hi, welcome to Voice the Meeple. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Danny.
And tonight we're going to be talking about Lemuria. Lemuria has really unique gameplay, so we're going to start by talking about how it differs from some of the other games that we have on our shelf. Let's go.
All right, the quick run through of the rules of Lemuria. It's played out over 12 rounds, kept track by that marker up here on that track. In each round, you're going to you have 4 tokens down here. They're for 2 different shapes. You have a cube, and you have one that's kind of like a crystal shape. And you are going to put those onto the altar in these different sections. And you'll notice there are 6 different resources. There are 3 that have the crystal shape, 3 that have the cube shape. So depending on where you put them, which section they fall into, and what shape they are, that's the resource that you're going to get from putting them there. So you put all those out, and you can only put them out or take them back on each round. You can only do one or the other. And then you, at the end of that round, one black disc will go out into each section that has them in it. Now, an important thing is you can only take the resources back once that section is full. So this one's full, this one is not. There's that empty spot. This one has 2 empty spots. So you wouldn't be the next round. You wouldn't be able to take these resources back yet. So that's the first thing you do is you put resources out, and each player does that. The next thing you can do is to buy a building using resources, and it lists what resources are necessary to buy each building. And then another thing you can do is play your character cards. You'll see them here, and you can play them and get the benefit. You can also put them into a building that you own, and you'll get victory points. You get bonus victory points if the color on the character card matches the color of the building, like that. Every time you play a building, you're going to take one of your building tokens and put it out into one of the 4 sections of the city. And having the most building tokens in that section will entitle you to a specific bonus in each section of the city. So this one gives you a gold resource. This one gives you 3 victory points. This one makes it easier to buy buildings in the future. All right, and you can buy new character cards up here by spending gold. So you can add those to your hand. That's basically the rules of the game.
So we're going to talk about some things that we like about this game. I really like the artwork on the back of the cards. I really like the board itself. It's a pretty game to look at. Another thing we like about it is it creates some really interesting choices. The wheel, the altar, it can, like we talked about earlier, it can lead to some cooperation as you're looking for ways to more efficiently put your pieces on and get the resources off. So you don't want to have to wait multiple rounds.
Right.
So you'll find yourself, talking about ways you can work together on that. Another thing we like, the 4 sections of the city, that leads to some other interesting decisions because you have to have the most building tiles in each section to get that benefit every round. But there are 3 harvest rounds throughout the game, festival rounds. There are 3 festival rounds throughout the game. No matter how many buildings you have, as long as you're in that section, you'll get the benefit on those festival rounds. So you want to spread out, but you also want to have the most in the section that you want to get that benefit from.
Right, yeah. Okay, here are some things that we don't love about this game. First off, the general artwork of the board and the back of the cards is really beautiful, but I feel like these cards are crowded and not particularly well designed. I also feel that the theme could have been much stronger in this game. It's a fascinating concept, this idea of turning cubes into various materials and building up a city that was lost and mystical and all these different types of buildings and types of characters, but really there's nothing that ties them all together. It really feels just unfinished, that they could have done a little bit more to mean that you're actually playing out a city or filling a larger purpose. Perhaps.
Yeah, as you're putting out these buildings, each one has a different name. Like this is a church, there's a windmill, and the characters have different names, but there's nothing really special about which characters.
Match.
Yeah, the characters that go with the buildings, you don't feel anything, you're not doing anything.
And at the end of the game, you just have 6 cards in front of you of various colors, and it just, even these actions here, it doesn't necessarily tie into anything that you're specializing in. It feels a little weak in that end. Mm-hmm. We also dislike the massive amount of luck that plays into this game. You have to decide what you're going to reap as a resource, and then you have to wait 2 rounds before you can reap because you have to wait around, reap, right? But at the end of every round, this gets taken away and these shift. So a brand new building comes out, and then what? Another one before you can get your resources back? Or is it just one?
Just one, but if people have bought buildings, then it'll be more than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
at least one building is going to be taken out each round.
Right.
Possibly
Probably
more.
more. Yeah. And so a brand new one will come out here, which is worth the very most points, and it's just luck of the draw. If you happen to have those resources ready, then you get a 6-point bump, and if you didn't, well, too bad. So
yeah, it's interesting that they made that far left space worth the most bonus points when that's the one you can't predict what's going to be there.
no, it would have been nice if they shifted this direction so you could build up resources and plan for that.
So yeah, that's Lemuria. Check it out again by Tasty Minstrel Games.
Thank you.